So finally, we want to estimate the area of this necessary carpet, and then we're going to do some comparison between our estimate and our actual calculation. So our author is leading us through how to do that estimation. So he's like, hey, look, the bulk of the area comes from the bedroom. So let's find the length and the width of the bedroom in feet, rounding to the nearest foot. And then we're going to divide by 3 to convert to yards, again, rounding to the nearest foot, and finally use these measurements to get a rough guess of the bedroom area in square yards. So what we're going to do is say, let's take this 171, divide it by 12, and that'll get us feet, and this 138, divide that by 12, and that will get us a result in feet. So I've done that here. Here's the feet. Here's the feet. And then we're going to divide each of these by 3 to convert these feet into yards. So 14 divided by 3 is 12 with, let's see, 12.7. So we're going to call this, it's roughly 12.7. We're going to call this 2.7. So we're going to call this approximately 3 yards for the dimension of the, we'll call this the length. And then the width, we've got it exactly rounding to 4 yards. And the product of these two gets us 12 yards squared for the area of the bedroom. 3 times 4 gets us 12 yards squared. How close is that to our actual estimate? Well, we had 20.8 yards, so we're a little bit off, but that's because we're ignoring the area of the closet and the doorways. Okay, so then we're going to skip over to the next thing. He's going to say, write a sentence describing how the professional estimates carpets compares to the actual carpet area. Use your answer from question 7. So recall that back in question 7, where's our question 7? Yeah, here it is. We had 20.826 yards squared, for squared yards, was our actual amount. And I think we rounded that to 20.8 yards. And our estimate was 24 2/3 from the professional. Now, if we want to convert that 2/3 into a decimal, you just do the division, 2 divided by 3, and we get 0.66666 forever. So let's call that roughly our estimate as 24.7 yards. So how do they compare? Well, the professional has a little bit extra. Estimate is, okay, let's get the English right here. The professional's estimate is slightly higher. Well, how slightly? It is 3.9 yards, squared yards higher. Okay. So let's find the relative difference between the estimate, which is this value, and the actual, which is the value we calculated. So recall how we do this. We do the estimate minus the actual divided by the actual. This will get us the relative difference between what the professional estimated and what we estimated. Let's jump to our Desmos. That's 24.7. Notice, since the professional estimated above, or was larger than, we know we're going to get a positive value here. And we get 0.1875. If we round to the nearest percent, we would say 19% above the actual value. All right, so then number 11, we're just asked to go a little bit further here. When you buy the carpet, you pay for the estimated amount, not the actual amount covering your floors. So if the family that owns the house in the diagram picked carpet that cost $28 per square yard installed, how much would they have paid? Well, we can use our dimensional analysis, our units here. It's $28 per 1 squared yard. And we're going to multiply this times the estimate, which is 24.7 square yards. Now notice the denominator of this is just a 1. And I guess I didn't mention that earlier. Anytime you have a whole number, you can make the denominator 1. Notice, looking at our dimensional analysis, the yards cancel and we're left with just dollars. Let's go ahead and run that through Desmos. 28 times 24.7 gets us $691.60 is what we would pay for the carpet to the professional, even though it's a little extra. All right, so then we're going to use the actual difference between the estimate and the carpeted area to find the dollar value of wasted carpet. So the actual estimate is this 24.7 minus 20.8. That's the 3.9 that I already calculated above. This is the wasted amount. And what we would then do is take this 3.9 yards squared and multiply it times the $28 per 1 yard squared. Note this is over 1. So again, these values are going to cancel and we'll be left with a dollar amount of wasted money on that carpet. So 28 times 3.9, which is $109.20.